We are going to talk about how can you key out or mask out a color. So you should download and then import into Premiere these three clips. Two of them are actually still photos and one is a video. And so what we're going to talk about is how do you get rid of this green? How do you get rid of this white? How can we make it look like Clarissa is inside the TV with the grizzly bear walking behind her? Before we get started, I want to point out something else because we're also going to be practicing things that we did last week, such as positioning and scaling, that everything here is a different size. Do you remember way back at the beginning of the semester, I pointed out this little icon down at the bottom where you can switch between the thumbnail view or the information view. So let's switch to the information view, and I'm going to hit the tilde key on my keyboard so that this screen becomes full screen. This is important to know once you start working with found footage because you don't know what size your footage is. And so if I look at these, only one of them is the right size, the size that I want my video to be. And so if we were in the classroom, I'd say, which one do you think it is? And you guys would all say, Clarissa. Yes, it's this one, 1920 by 1080. This is the only one that is the correct size. I'm going to go back to my thumbnail view. Why does this make a difference? And I'm going to hit tilde so I go out of the full screen move. Because if I take my video of the grizzly bear and I drag that onto the screen first, I am setting my video up to be the size of this clip, which was really small. If I go up under sequence settings, I can see that this video has been set up to be 320 by 240, and that's too small. I don't want that. Then when I bring in Clarissa, I can't even see her because she's so large. I would have to scale her way down. So I'm going to undo all that. And this time instead, the clip that I want my entire project to be is the one I should put out onto the timeline first, okay? So that's the lesson here. If you start working with found footage, you want something that you probably shot with your own camera, because that would be the correct size, to go out onto the timeline first, even if you end up taking it off, but it just will help set that timeline settings. All right, so I have Clarissa here. And all right, I'm going to undo everything so that I don't have that timeline. Then I'm going to put Clarissa back on. So that way it's now using the size of Clarissa, which is the 1920 by 1080, as the size, the sequence size. And that's what I want. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of stacking here. I'm going to put the TV on my top track. Oh, and look at that. It's so small. I need to make it larger. Excellent, because I get to practice resizing. So with the TV selected, I go to my effects control and I'm going to scale it larger. And this is just a practice. We're not really too concerned about it. And now I want to be able to see through here and to see Clarissa. So to do that, I'm going to make sure that my TV is the one selected. And I'm going to go to where it says opacity, and I'm going to make a mask with these tools. I'm going to take the free draw Bezier tool, that's my pen, and as soon as I click it I get a mask here. It says mask 1, and I'm just going to do this kind of quickly. We're not really looking for perfection. See, my corner wasn't great. I'm just clicking and going around. Of course, if this was for a project, I'd want perfection, but this is just an illustration, so we're just going to go around and come back up to the top and close that out. Now, it's really important to note I only have one mask here. If I grab that tool again and I start clicking, it's going to create a second mask. If you have any issues, please make sure that you only have one mask at a time. If by accident you created more than one mask here, you can simply click on it and then hit delete on your keyboard. So now I have my mask, and what I need to do is invert it. And now I have this lovely little space here, and I need to either move Clarissa or move the TV over. I think I'll move Clarissa. So I'm going to select Clarissa from the timeline and then go up to my position, and I'm going to scoot her over a little bit until she shows up in the TV. Okay, so that was masking. And I can mask with different shapes, and I could change the opacity of the mask, which we will talk about in another video. But this is like a good first step, is just simply creating a mask so we block it out and we can see what's below, just like in Photoshop. All right, now I'm going to bring this grizzly in. I'm going to scoot Clarissa up to the second track, and I'm going to put the grizzly on the lowest track here. Grizzly walking behind. I'd like to be able to see the grizzly so I can work on him. So I'm going to turn off these other two clips. And there's the grizzly, and it's very small. I want to scale it larger. So I'm going to click on it and scale it to be larger. Something like that is fine. All right, now I'm going to turn back on Clarissa. And this time I'm going to key out. So I'm not going to use a masking tool. I mean, I suppose I could. It wouldn't do a very good job. And what I can use, though, is an eyedropper and the keyer, the chroma keyer in Premiere to get rid of this green. So Clarissa needs to be selected. I go to my effects. I open video effects, and I'm looking for keying. Open keying, double click where it says Ultra Key. Okay, nothing happens yet. We have to then go up to our effects control. I'm going to slide down here. And here in the effects control, I can see the controls I have for the Ultra Key. And the first thing I want to do is I want to take this eyedropper and I want to choose the color I want to key out. And there goes the green. If I'm not happy with my results, I could choose some different settings here. Where it says setting, the default, relaxed will take less, aggressive will take more, or custom allows you to go down into here and adjust the matte generation, the cleanup, the spill. These are all things that are adjusting when you choose these settings. But you could go in and see, like if you removed, you could try to remove more, for example, specifically in the shadows or in the highlights. All right, and now let's put the TV back on, and there we have it. Clarissa is sitting and she's watching, and she doesn't even know this grizzly is coming behind her. Okay, all right, so that's it for this one. What I want you to do is I want you to shoot 2 videos for your homework. One video that would be like Clarissa that has a very dominant color on it, something like a green. So you could paint a color. You could use sticky notes. Those are sometimes like very vibrant colors. Put a sticky note on your cabinet and then just shoot with video. And then I want you to shoot something else that has some movement to it, like shoot some cars, shoot some people walking, something like that. And you're going to put your track, do this in Premiere, that has the main color on the top, and then the one that we're going to see through on the bottom, you're going to use the Ultra key to key out that color, and hopefully we'll see the action underneath.